From Lori's Little Bit of Craftin. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Wisconsin on Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. I was waiting for my phone to reboot, so give me 2 minutes grace. I know I'm a couple minutes late, but you know, it happens. It happens. Let me get my devices set up here. We'll make sure we have sound. Oh, I do have sound. My picture's elongated again, though. I wish YouTube wouldn't do that to me. So anyway, just to be careful, I did restart my phone just so we wouldn't have any sound issues. Maybe those issues are all resolved. I don't know. We'll find out. Last night it seemed like it was fine, but I didn't want to push it, you know. So, let me get my little comments ready here so I can see when folks are joining. Let me know where you're joining from. Feel free to participate in the conversation. Hello, Rosa. Welcome back. And I think we're all good to go. How are you tonight, Rosa? We'll go through our announcements real quick tonight. Well, I'm glad you're back. Hopefully it'll be fun. We've just got one project I'm going to do tonight, so I'm just going to whiz through some of these announcements quick. I know some people wait a couple of minutes so I can get through these things. You're doing good. Oh, you finally got to my live on time. Yes, I'm usually closer to midnight now because Juju is live before me, and some of the gals that come and join me and support me are on hers. So I don't want to, I don't want to conflict with that because that doesn't do anybody any good, right? So I'm glad you joined me. Glad you made it live. So my store, my website, where I'll be adding projects, hopefully now that things are starting to settle down, I'll be able to get some more projects loaded up there. But I'm at latenightlory.stampinup.net. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. That will get you to where all things Stampin' Up! Are posted. All right. Hello, Tess. Welcome. I don't know that you've been here before. I don't recognize the name. I'm glad to have you. Where are you joining from? And maybe you've been here before but have been hanging out in the balcony maybe, huh? Which is fine. And Rosa, I don't remember where you're from. I wonder if I have it noted from in the past. So Tess, you're from Colorado. Are you a demonstrator? Crafter? Card maker, scrapbooker, memory keeper? Because sometimes it helps me to know what kinds of things I should try to work on a little bit. I'm going to try to zoom this in just a little bit more. There. All right, so Rosa, you're in California. Maybe you did tell me that last night because my mother was from California and that does sound kind of familiar. My mother actually grew up in Pacifica. My aunt and uncle were in Redwood City. Oh, so Tess, you're not a demonstrator yet? Well, when you join Stampin' Up, you don't have to like do videos and all the things. You can be your best customer and just get a discount. So if you've been here before, you've heard me talk about that before, but it's always a good time to join. You're close to Redwood City, Rosa. How cool is that? So anyway, yeah, anytime is a good time to join Stampin' Up because you get stuff for free. You get free shipping, you get catalogs and stuff. But the discount, that's why I joined. I joined just as a kidnapper because whatever the deal was at the time, and I don't even remember what it was back in 2017, whatever that deal was, I wanted it. And then I wanted the discount. And then I stayed because it was fun. And then I started to get some customers. And now here I am these years later. So 17, 18, 19, 20. So we're at almost 9 years. So next year, that's right, it'll be my 10th anniversary. So anyway, welcome. Have you been here before and just hiding out, or is this your first time? Tess. That would be to Tess. And see, I make little notes to myself where you're from so I can try to remember. After a couple of times, I can usually do pretty good. All right, so let's do our quickie little announcements and then we can chit chat some more and we'll start making a fun little card. We're going to use our woolly friends again today just because they have tickled my fancy. So we are currently in bonus days. This is almost a month long. This will go until February 2nd. Oh, Tess, you've been here one time before? Okay. I don't remember if you commented or not, but welcome back. All right. And if you haven't subscribed, think about subscribing. I go on almost every single night, and it's usually closer to midnight, Wisconsin time, so Central time. So back to bonus days. Bonus days, if you're not familiar with them, Stampin' Up! Gives out $5 coupons every time you accumulate $50 worth of purchases. So it could be last chance things, it could be new things, it could be kits, it could be whatever, ribbons, embellishments, whatever. Oh, thank you, Tess. So in the US, every time you spend an increment of $50, you get a $5 coupon. And then you in February. And that goes from February 3rd to February 8th. I already placed an order on January 6th when I got back from Arizona. I didn't do a live. Oh, it looks, am I hanging up a little bit? Maybe it's just my iPad. It seemed like it was bogging down a little bit. Are we all right for video-wise? Hopefully it's doing all right. Sometimes when I see it bouncing around and buffering on my iPad. Hopefully my internet's okay. So when I got back from Arizona, I didn't really have the energy. We are having video troubles. Mine kind of smoothed out. So I'm going to keep going, but I'll try to keep an eye on it. And if it gets to where it's not improving, I may end and come back. We'll see. Hopefully it's all right. Tess, your mother's name is Lori too, and she even spells it the right way. See, there is a right and a wrong way to spell Lori. That's great. I love it. I love it. So I think that's all I need to tell you about bonus days, but they're awesome. There's no limit to the number of coupons you can earn, but watch your email. So mine came like right after I entered my purchase. I had my email. It seemed like it was within minutes. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. It seemed like it was within minutes. Hello, Yuta. How are you doing tonight? Now that all the holidays are over and things are settling down, hopefully everybody is getting things back to normal or a new normal. But bonus days, I got my email pretty quickly after I placed my order. So don't lose those emails when you get your coupon codes. Stampin' Up! May or may not be able to reproduce them for you. We've heard in the past that once you get them, they're gone. But I think Stampin' Up! Could probably find them and resend an email, but I'm not sure. Just don't lose your email with your codes because those are like gold, right? So we've got some new kits that released this month. The January, every quarter we have 1 month where there's 3 kits released. So this month we've got the Adopt a Pet kit. Let me zoom this in a little bit so you can see these maybe a little bit better. This is the Adopt a Pet kit. They get little adoption certificates. They put these little hollow pets together. There's a dog, a bird, a cat, and a guinea pig. And then they've got their little rescue crates, I guess. Then there is this butterfly garden kit. This is a stamping kit. This is not. This is just a put together kit. This is a stamping kit, so you'll get everything you need. You get a block and ink, the stamp set, all the parts and pieces. And then there is this Lots to Love kit. This also is a non-stamping kit. So everything you need, this would be one of those things where you could just take the box, climb on a plane, or go someplace and know that everything you need is in there. Adhesives, the ephemera pieces, whatever cutouts you need, all the bases, everything is in your kit that you need. And actually with this one, you'll get your ink and your Stampin' Spot, the ink, a block, the stamp set, all of those things come in your box. Virtual card retreat. If you have not, I could probably back up just a little bit now, huh? If you have not done a retreat with Stampin' Up! Or an online class, you should consider doing it. I did the virtual album retreat whenever we did that in 2025. It's been a few months, maybe 6 months. It might have been during the summer. I just don't remember. Time gets away from me. But we did a month. It was a month-to-month virtual album retreat. So we did 2 page spreads for every month of the year, and learned a lot of techniques. And I'm not a big memory keeper, scrapbooker sort of thing, so I learned a lot with that retreat. And I'm looking for a similar result here. So this virtual card retreat is going to be basically 2 days of master classes with Stampin' Up! Folks leading the charge. It runs from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So my time, it'll be from 3 to 10. If anybody local to me is buying the kit and you want to have a watch party with me, let me know. You can come on over. Or if you want to come to Wisconsin and visit, let me know. But the studio will be open only if somebody notifies me that they're coming over. And you wouldn't have to stay the whole time because, 10 o'clock gets kind of late. But we're doing 15 cards. These are going to be more stepped up cards. And some techniques will be covered. How long have I been with Stampin' Up? So I got invited to a club event in 2015. Don't ask me what month. Somebody I worked with saw that I had made my wedding invitations. And I made like the old airline tickets that used to be, you might be too young, I don't know. Where part of the ticket was perforated and they would rip off part of the ticket when you got to board the plane and then you got to keep the other part of the ticket. Well, and they came in a sleeve. I made our wedding invitations like that. We had a double wedding. So my husband and his sister, her fiance, and me, we got married on a boat on Lake Geneva. And so I thought those kind of tickets would be fun. My little tear off part was their RSVP. So anyway, she saw that I had made this invitation. She didn't realize I was interested in crafts at all. So she invited me to a club. And hey, Juju, welcome. And I went to a couple of things over the next couple of years. And then early in 2017, they had whatever deal Stampin' Up! Had. And in March of 2017, I joined as a demonstrator. So I am in March, it'll be 9 years for me. And then I'll be starting on my 10th year. So my mother was crafty my whole life, and I like to crochet. I also, somewhere in the back of my head, know how to knit because my grandmother taught me how to do both of them. So I've liked crafts, but my mother did all the little putsy. She used to have like a craft of the month club where a shipment would come and there'd be like styrofoam cupcakes and she'd decorate them as snowman and shovels with fake snow and stuff, all kinds of little things. But that's how I got into Stampin' Up. So here I am. And I love it. And well, like I was saying, I started out as a kidnapper. So I was my own best customer. And then my mother was purchasing from me, and then I just told her she should really join because then she could have the discount, and she bought more than I did. So she joined as my team member. So she started getting her discount. And then little by little, I just started having people over and kind of doing classes, so to speak. So it's just kind of evolved for me. And I retired in April of 2024 from my full-time job and have been able to spend more time doing my crafting. So January of 2025 is when I started doing my YouTube videos. So, hello, Scrapbook Sage. So, Vicki, you loved the retreat you went to. Oh, that's how you learned how to do the vellum, huh? Yes, when you've got that little bit of cushion or protection, it kind of creates a little extra pressure, I think, on the vellum so it doesn't crack through. So, all right, so Scrapbook Sage, you're done, huh? I don't have my list. I didn't remember. So this is the virtual card retreat. Hopefully, who was asking? So Rosa, I think you were asking about how long I've been Stampin' Up. Either Rosa or Tess, whichever one of you asked. I know that was a lot of information. Tanya, welcome. I didn't notice you were here either. I almost missed that. So, all right, virtual card retreat. This should be awesome. It is kind of pricey. It's $165, but you get, does anybody want me to show you what you get in the kit? Because I've got mine. I know I went over it when I first got it because I've had it for a couple of weeks now. And if you order it now, you probably won't get it in time for the retreat, but you could you'll have cutting instructions, so you could make it with something else that you have in your stash. The videos are, okay, Vicki, I'll get it. I think you said yes to showing you the things that are in the retreat. I'll get it because it's just an arm's reach away, basically. So the videos will be available long after the live event. So Stampin' Up! Will download the videos. They will save them. They will upload them back to Facebook so that Facebook doesn't drop them as live videos. I don't know what their rules are, but when you upload a video, apparently it stays there for however long Facebook is going to live. So you can have on-demand access to that. If you can't attend on the day of the event, it doesn't matter. You're going to have the link to get into the private Facebook group to watch all the videos and have those on demand whenever you want. My understanding also is that each project is going to have its own time period of video. So, like a chapter, but it would be separate videos. So you could, if you saw one card that you really liked, you should be able to go to project 3. Like with the virtual album retreat, I could just go to July and look at July's if I wanted to. I didn't have to scroll all the way through January to, through June. So let me get that. I got it right here. All right, so virtual album retreat. You get this nice little card that gives you kind of your instructions. And that was just my paper list to say what I got. There's a QR code on here that you can scan so that you can get the other items. You get this exclusive stamp set. Hopefully, maybe I should go like this and zoom in. Can you see those sentiments good enough? Now you probably can. And the images. So this is just like a scripted, but you can't really read what it says. I love this little script font here, and then these block letters are fun as well. So this is exclusive to the retreat. This Forever Florals bundle is a like a product preview. So I don't know if this is going to be an online exclusive later, or if this is something that's coming out in the new annual catalog. Hello, Nicole. It's been a while since you've joined us. Thanks for popping in. So this bundle is a pre-release item that we get with the retreat. So these dies are pretty cool. I will probably break this open in the coming days. The retreat's not that far away. It's not next week, but I think it's the week after. Something like that. So that I can play with these and get prepared a little bit. All right. So we get envelopes. You're not going to get a whole pack. You're going to get 15 envelopes for your 15 cards. All right. One of the cards uses flip flaps. So we have 3 flip flaps. We get a whole pack of these Moody Palette glossy dots. And I'm going to use some of those tonight. So they come in white. I colored these already for the project that I've got in mind for tonight. Balmy Blue, Old Olive, and Secret Sea. All right, so the white ones you can color any color you want with your alcohol markers. So keep that in mind too. So you get a whole packet of those. You get an entire packet of basic white cardstock so that you'll have enough for all of the card bases. All right. So the pack comes with 24, so you basically have enough to make 48 card bases, and we're only doing 15 cards. So I think it was just more efficient for Stampin' Up! To give us a whole pack of the basic white cardstock. And then we get this. I'm afraid to pull these out. There are 2 sheets. Now mine came with 2 sheets, so I'm not sure if we're supposed to have 2 sheets or not, or if I got a bonus. But these come with all these punch-out pieces. So there's a frame here. Hopefully you probably can't see that because you probably can't see it. But these are all laser cut. So what we need is already cut out for us, so we just have to punch them out. That's why I'm saying if anybody wants to come and do a watch party with me, they have to purchase their own kit. They can't just come and play because I will not have extra pieces to do all the things. Okay. Thumbs up buttercups. Who's a buttercup? So anyway, there's 2 sheets of those. Whether I'm supposed to have 2 sheets or not, I don't know. But I have 2 sheets. All right. And that comes on a chipboard too, so they're pretty well protected. And then we have some, what I believe is exclusive designer series paper. Oh, where are all the buttercups? Okay. Is that like Buck Up Buttercup or Suck It Up Buttercup? Hello, Bon Bon. All right. Macman is still up. It sounds like he's got a vacuum on. That's kind of crazy. It's after midnight. All right, so here's the exclusive paper. Suck It Up Buttercup. So this doesn't have a name on it because it should be exclusive to the virtual kit, or the virtual retreat rather. So we will, if it's anything like the album retreat, the virtual album retreat, we did not get to, apparently he's made a mouse. We did not get to reorder the papers. There might have been a couple of papers that were in some other pack, but I don't know. So the nice thing about these is that on the back, and I'm going to turn these this way, I think. Front side, on the back, oh, I turned it the wrong way. I want the numbers to be right side up. There we go. Sometimes it's a struggle. All right, so you hopefully can see the numbers on here and the little scissors. Hopefully you can see that on here. The scissors tell us where to make our first cut. The numbers tell us what project it goes with. All right, and if there's a portion that's not labeled, like this section here, those are extra. All right, so once you've done your cutting, my suggestion is sort them into piles 1 through 15. All right, because that's how you'll need them for your cards. We will also get, yeah, he knows nothing. You can, yes, sometimes that is the case. With the virtual album retreat, if we did this stuff ahead of time, it was a lot. So Stampin' Up! Actually cut all of those things for us. This time, they're making us do the cutting. It's probably a little more basic, you know, and many people have already done like their scrapbooking kits. So this is very much like a scrapbooking kit. All right. There will be about a week before the live event a video going through the cutting instructions. I might watch it, I might not. I mean, I know that the scissors tells me to cut that first. And then I can cut here and then I can cut across there. So it's dashed on there. Hopefully you can see the dash marks. So all you have to do is just follow the lines. All right. So I'll just go through these other papers pretty quick. I think we're going to be coloring this or using blends, but you can see here's our first cut. And then we've got all the numbers on there for what projects it goes with. These pieces here down at the bottom where there's no number and along the side, those are going to be extra pieces. All right, so you kind of get the idea. Yes, I love the papers. They are very pretty. This is like a basket weave sort of thing. This is, it looks like cloud cover to me. And then again, cutting instructions. This is, I think, the only one where there's a diagonal cut on there. And it doesn't look like we use this little triangle. It looks like we're just using that piece. But then, you know, we've got extra pieces here and here. So the cutting instructions that Stampin' Up! Gives us is most efficient for how to have the best use of our paper, which is nice because then we'll have extra pieces to make other cards too. I like this one too. But look at this one. So more than half the sheet is extra for us to do cards. And this is just a little floral bouquet kind of print. Hopefully you can see that pretty good. Cutting instructions on the back. And again, this one, there's at least half of it that's going to be extra. And then we get two-tone cardstock. Normally our two-tone cardstock is front and back, right? Two-tone cardstock is screen printed, where our regular cardstock is dyed. So when it's dyed, it goes through all of the fibers. That's why we don't have a white core on most of our cardstock. With the two-tone cardstock, it's screen printed. So what they did with the two-tone cardstock for this retreat is they just printed it on the page, all right? And there are cutting instructions on the back of there as well. The void part that we're not going to use is in the middle, and that way we kind of get both colors as our leftover piece. Same thing on all of these, all right? So these are just the darker color is the true color, and then the lighter color is the tint. All right. Darker than this would be a shade, I believe, and I think the lighter they call a tint. Looks like some berry burst here. Oh, and look at that. Most of this, I'm going to back this up again now. Since you don't have to see the pretty designs as much, most of this is not going to be utilized. So with this particular piece, we're utilizing this corner, and the rest of it's all going to be extra. Looks like some bubble bath, maybe some basic gray or smoke. I think this is basic gray. Cloud cover. Oh, that one we're going to use a lot of. There's just a few strips that we're not going to use of that one. Yay for you, Juju. I was all motivated this afternoon. I had a couple of Zoom meetings today. The sun was out. I was at my work table, and I started looking through some emails and stuff. And then I got up and I went and I sat in the living room, and I don't know if I was watching something on the TV with MacMan, and the afternoon just kind of escaped me. We went out and spent some time with the chickens and then went to eat, and I didn't utilize my time very well today. But that's my prerogative because I'm retired, right? All right, so those are the papers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. If I counted right, there's 16 12 by 12 sheets of DSP and the two-tone cardstock. So that's everything that's in the virtual kit, plus all of the Stampin' Up! People as resources doing the masterclass for us, and all of these extra little supplies, the exclusive stamp set, and the preview bundle. All right, so that'll be fun. All right, so that took a while. All right, on stage, if you're a demonstrator, I know some days are just for piddling around. I agree. It seems like I accomplished something, but I don't know what. I don't know. My meetings, they were Stampin' Up! Meetings, so there were actually 4 that I did. A couple of them were just, I caught the replay of a meeting that I wasn't there live for. But anyway, on stage, if you're a demonstrator and you like getting together with other people and seeing all of the things, all of the new things before anybody else gets to see them, that's my problem. That's my addiction. I have not missed an on stage since I joined. These are just fun events. This, for the United States, it's going to be in Long Beach. Registration is, it's not inexpensive, all right? Registration is $345, but we also get a lot of stuff with this. Now, I was able to see a preview today of, every year they give us some kind of bag. Last year we got one of those big totes. I don't even know what they're called, but the big plastic totes that have like the holes in them that you can put charms in. I don't think ours, maybe ours doesn't have the one with the holes to put the charms in. But they're all the rave, you know, they're like $85 or something. Plus we get stamp sets and catalog early, and we can order Long Beach, California. So it goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Friday night, there is also an extra event that you can pay for to do. It's a pay to play sort of thing with where we can purchase a new incoming bundle and play with that. You were like, what? What do you mean, what? Like, how many, are there a lot of Long Beaches? I don't even know. I kept forgetting it. I knew it was I knew it was California somewhere, but I couldn't remember where, but I remember now because I'm registered. But registration ends next week. So, yes, you need to register. Yes, you need to get a hotel room, but there are hotel room blocks at the convention center. So they're attached. And Stampin' Up! Reserves blocks gets a discounted price. But you have to do, if you look and try to do a reservation on your own, it's going to make it look like the hotel blocks are taken up if you're going like a day before or staying a day after. The blocked dates are only the 13th, the 12th, 13th, and 14th, I think. Yeah, 12th, 13th, 14th. Thursday, Friday. Whatever it is. You can only put in the dates of the convention, the conference itself, to get the blocks, but then you can contact the hotel and say, I need to extend my stay before and after. It just won't be at the discounted price that Stampin' Up! Gets for on stage. All right. A lot of times gals will say, hey, I need a roommate. I've reserved a room. I need a roommate. And then you can split the cost too. Or if you bring your own buddy, crew, whatever, you can figure it out. There are some people that will get like an Airbnb so that they have several bedrooms, and they'll break up that cost, and that makes it less expensive. Paul and I found an Airbnb that's a few blocks from the conference center. So I won't be at the hotel on the conference site, but it's a quick jaunt, and it was just less expensive for us because he's my roadie. So I have to have space for him. And we won't share. We're kind of funny like that. We just won't share with a bunch of other gals. So on stage is a really fun event. If you're thinking about going, think about it, it'll be fun. All right. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, these announcements are taking a long time tonight. Good thing I prepped my card for tonight, so hopefully it'll go really nice and smooth. All right. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, your add-on dies are available. If you're interested in getting these, they are here. So you get the postage die, the tulip stem and the flower, and this beautiful sentiment that says beautiful. I just cut them all out. I had cut out the samples yesterday on some old cardstock that I had, and I decided I'm just going to recut it and put it on a note card and just make it something a little bit more cute. So I used some of the paper, I think it was from this pack. I think it was. Maybe not. I just pulled out a piece that I had left over from something recently. Doesn't matter. So anyway, I cut that out. I cut out this beautiful. This is beautiful. I love the font on that. And I pointed out last night that the dot for the I is attached to the T, and the T is attached to the F. So we don't have to worry about losing any little pieces or gluing on any little pieces or anything. And then the tulip I showed you last night, it comes in two pieces. Well, the die is a single die, but it cuts out two separate pieces. And I said, you know, it kind of looks okay with the smaller piece either on the top or on the bottom. After I looked at it more today, I like that little piece in the back better. Even though it's got veins going all the way through, I think it just looks better on the bottom. So then I put my extra one on there. I cut two of them, and I put that one on the bottom as well. And this in the United States can be mailed just like this. It's like the smallest thing we can mail, I think. So yeah, this font, I love that font. Some of these like casual scripted fonts are really appealing to me. All right. So this set of add-on dies is only available if you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So I think last night I mentioned if anybody who is not a subscriber subscribes through me, if you're a demonstrator, subscribe through yourself. But if there's any of my customers or new customers and you subscribe before the end of the month, I will put you in a drawing and I will gift one set of these dies. I bought two, one for myself and one to gift. So you used a watercolor flower as a focal point on Stampin' Up's paper to make a card. Beautiful. That sounds beautiful. All right, so let's put that over there, and that can go there. These dies I'm going to put over here. Oh, and one other thing with these. The reason why they're exclusive to Paper Pumpkin sets is that it's for a quarter. So January, February, March. This will coordinate with one kit. The flower will coordinate with another kit, and the beautiful will coordinate with another kit for January, February, and March. So these are what we call like the quarterly add-on dies, and they coordinate with that kit for those months. But as you can see from the note card, you can make your own thing too. All right. Who's interested in the product of the month? Last month it was that Designer Series paper. This month it is this stamp set. I'll zoom in here again so you can see. Again, I love the font. I love that casual scripted. Plus there's plenty of block ones. We may have to case that card when I get my set. I didn't check yet to see if it had shipped. But Stampin' Up! Was pretty caught up on shipping as of a couple of days ago. So this is the product of the month. Product of the month you can purchase once you've made a qualifying purchase, which is $75. So if you're looking at like a bonus days coupon, that takes $50. Let's back it up a little bit more. Stampin' Rewards starts at $20 purchase. All right. If you get to 50, you're going to get your bonus day coupon and save $5. You're only $25 away from the product of the month. Then you can add this to your cart for $5. And then you're pretty close to $100 if you need that much stuff. you would get another bonus day coupon. So that would be $10 off next month's purchases. Plus, you still get your stamp and rewards. Plus, if you're a demonstrator, you still get your discount. All right. The purchasing totals will come no, your discount comes after you reach the amount. Just watch your totals. It'll tell you where you're at. All right. We're getting there. We got a new catalog. This started on the 6th and it will go through May 4th, technically. It says January to April, but it actually goes through just the very beginning of May. And that's when our new annual catalog will come out too. All right. If you're looking for stuff on sale, check the last chance list. Once the things on that list are gone, they're gone for good. All right. Sometimes you will see bundles on the last chance list. It only means it's no longer going to be available as a bundle, but the separate components might still be available later. That can be a little confusing for some people sometimes. All right. So we did a whole walkthrough of this yesterday. Took us a long time. But there were some things in here that's like, oh yeah, I think I need to get that. All right, so here is one of our new papers, the mixed up patterns. I've shown this recently and I'm not going to go through each one two-sided, but we'll just kind of flip through a little bit so you can see them. They're fun. I think I might have missed a page, maybe that one. All right. But this is what we're going to use tonight. So again, mixed up patterns. It's 12 by 12. It's just basic. It's not specialty designer series paper. And I have 2 packs of it, so it might go with the suite. I don't remember. I have to organize my things. That was actually on my to-do list today that I didn't get done. And we're going to play with Woolly Friends again. All right. So last night I think I showed the few cards that we made last week. So this was our first one with our little Wobbles gal. And then we decorated our envelope. And then we decided to make a wild child. Can you hear her eyes? Cracks me up. And then we did this one with leftover pieces. I like how that sounds too. Twang, twang. So anyway, we are going to make another Woolly Friends card. Wild Wanda. I love it. Wild Wanda. Wanda, our woolly friend. I like alliteration, so that strikes a chord with me. All right, so we are going to stamp and punch Wanda. And that's a bundle. So you don't have to get them together if you don't want. But I have found when I get a stamp set, and if I don't get the punch or the dies later, then I regret having not gotten them together. You can save 10% when you buy them together until they're no longer a bundle. So remember last week I showed you how I make the template basically so that I can, I don't know if you can see my ceiling or just my camera when I put that up there like that. I make a template so that I'm sure that I get my stamps on here right. And I'm going to put a little note on here that just says top because sometimes I get confused. All right. So we are going to just put this in our punch and we're going to punch out these pieces. I can save these because if I'm going to be brave and daring someday in the future, I can just try to stamp on those, right? But I'm going to show you how I line up my stamps on my block so that I can stamp on a plain piece of paper and make sure that it's lined up with my punch. All right. So we are going to put these on our block this way. Well, it wouldn't have to go on a block. It would just go actually on a piece of paper. So let's just open her up. Thanks for popping in, Tess. Sorry we didn't get further on the project while you were still here and awake. All right, so I'm going to lay this down here. You can always catch the replay. All right, so I've got my template, and I am setting my die or my stamps down so that they fit into those shapes, but I'm putting it so the flat side is up. Because when I go to put my block on here and lift them up, I want to have the lined part up, you know, where I'm actually going to use to stamp. So we're going to put these so that the flat part is up, the part that I want to stick to my block. And then this is going to go here. I'm not going to use the bell for this one. Whoops, had the wrong side up. And you can kind of tell when you've got the wrong side up because it doesn't fit right. So I don't know if you noticed, but when I had this the wrong side up, the shape didn't match. All right, so we're going to just put this back over this way. I'm going to put that in the slot, and there we go. I think that should be good. Then we're just going to put that on there, and then we're going to get another piece of paper to stamp on, and hopefully I have one close by. That's the right size. We'll go this way. All right. So I could hang on to this. I don't need to. Somebody asked me about it last week when I showed this. If I'm going to be mass producing or making more and I'm going to keep my stamps on the block, then I'll save my template. See this? Yeah, that'll be like that. I could save my template, but there's really no need because once I have them on here, if I take them off of here, I can always use this to line them up again. But if I'm not going to use it for a while, this just kind of gets in the way. And I wonder, no, I was going to say maybe I kept my template from before, but I did not. So this time I might actually just keep the template right in here. So if I want to make more, my template's already made. But I thought it would be fun to show everybody how to use that again. All right. So now what we're going to do, I can get this out of the way. We are going to use our Memento black. Whoops. We'll ink that up. And then I'm just going to make sure that I put this near the bottom of the paper. And I probably should have put that on my Pearson mat because it's photopolymer and could probably use a cushion, but it's all right. It's all right. And there was something else I was going to say. Oh, I actually stamped another one because with what we're doing, we might actually want to use a wild child and have wild legs. We'll decide that in a minute. I'll have to fussy cut the feet off of here because this will be able to go right on top of there if we decide to do that. All right. So the other thing we can do too is fill in the wool on our sheep if we want to make her a color, or we can just do some highlight blends on here, which was my intention. But you tell me, do we want to add some woolly color or just some highlights? What do you think? So here is how it looked with all of them colored in. This we stamped on designer series paper, which I could certainly do again. But keep in mind that we are putting her on some grass and some flowered sky. So I was thinking maybe just the highlights. Oh, me choose? Okay. So I'm thinking just having her mostly white with some highlights would work best with our backgrounds. All right, so I guess we'll go with that. All right, so let's do a couple of other little things here. Let's go ahead and color her quick. I have got the, this is my light crumb cake alcohol blend. And I'm just going to put some little marks here and we'll give her some shading. Now when Stampin' Up! Put some of those little shapes in there Oh, I'm glad, Tess. The comments on here are a little delayed, so if I start doing something before your comment came in, it's probably because I didn't see the comment before I started coloring. So anyway, when Stampin' Up! Puts some of these lines in images, that's a good place to put some of our highlights. In fact, I think I'm going to use my bullet, and for around the ears here, we'll do some little eyebrows. And then maybe we'll give this one brown hair. We did pastel hair before. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and just, oh, we can do the bullet side. We're just going to let some of these blend. I consider the color lifter more of a color pusher because it doesn't really lift it off the paper, it just kind of moves it around. So that's why I call it a color pusher. And it just works by saturating the paper because it's alcohol, and it just kind of diffuses some of that color. And then we're going to give her some blushy cheeks too. Now, we might want to give her some wild eyes. And I do have my little googly eyes today. So this would be with wild eyes, and then we'd have to give her eyelashes again, or this would just be sweet. So, Wild Wanda, or what would be another good descriptor word for Wanda? Wild or not wild? So let's give her a little bit of blush. Wild. Juju, you came through for me because I think she needs to be wild, personally. So I'm just going to blend in a little bit of that blush so it doesn't look like she's a clown. And then we'll put a little bit of pink in her ears too. Oh good, Rosa, you think she needs to be wild also. Wild and whimsy. Nice. All right, those will work. And then I forgot to do a color for her bow. We're going to have green and blue. Blue eyeliner. I don't know if... See, what I used for the eyelashes on this gal was the journaling pen because it has a super fine tip. And I don't have... I wonder if my markers... Now these markers are discontinued, so don't get mad at me that you can't get them anymore if they're gone. Oh, we could probably do that. This is Night of Navy. So let's go ahead and punch her out first. Oh, what color should we do her bow? Night of Navy to go with her eyes. I know, I don't have gel pens. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Wait. That's a gel pen, but I can't advance it to another color. So that's like a turquoisey blue. This is a gel pen. It's just not called a gel pen. Or I have this gel one. That's like neon orange. Whew, that is really wild. I know. Hold your pearls. I'm sorry. Clutch them. So what do you think? I guess I need to think about getting some gel pens. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them, so I got to go to a store to get them instead of having them delivered to my house. I don't shop very often. So you like the navy? I'm just trying to soften up some of these colors a little bit more. Or use real eyeshadow. I never considered that. Won't it rub off though? And this is pretty little. And I don't think I have any blue eyeshadow because I had surgery on my eyes, so that is a good idea. That's an option. I don't wear eye makeup because I've had surgery around my eyes for skin cancer. So I just don't wear makeup. All right, bow, Night of Navy. Is that what we said? Navy, I think navy you said. So we'll just do part of that. Hopefully that's what you meant. And then I'm going to go get a lighter blue for the other part of the bow. All right, so you don't have any eye makeup either. Good, I'm glad I'm not the only one. All right, I'm looking for a lighter blue. Let's see. We'll use this. We'll use Cloud Cover. Yeah, Stampin' Up! Discontinued the markers because most people are using alcohol blends. So I don't even know. I don't think we have any markers left. I think they were all sold. The nice thing about the markers is that they don't generally bleed through. I'm just picking up a little bit of the navy color on there. There, I think that'll be good. All right. Sorry about the gel pens. I think this one was a Stampin' Up! Gift at one of the conferences, actually. All right, let's go ahead and cut out our little sheep. It's difficult for you to see close up. What lighting do you use? I have like a gooseneck clamp light. Oh, and then I can't stretch it over. I have a gooseneck clamp light that's over here. So you can see this is my gooseneck, that you can see the light over here. Oh, yeah, you could see that. And then I have two other ones that I actually got at Menards that are long. I don't know. They're not fluorescent, but they're adjustable. So I can make them go dimmer or brighter. And you can kind of see like along here and the sides, they've got a bunch of, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Looks like they've got like 15 bulbs in them. They're kind of long rectangle pieces. Now I'm trying to get it brighter. There we go. So can you see okay here? I like a lot of light, but when I tried to do a ring light with my camera, it made like a circle on anything I was working on, and I didn't like that. So that's what I use. And then my camera, I've just got an Arcan that I think that came with the circle light. In fact, I know it did. And I don't even know where I put it. It clips onto your phone, but that gave me light rings that I didn't like either. All right, so here you can see I'm just lining it up. Now I didn't stamp the bell. I don't care about that because I wasn't going to use it, so I have it. So let's just try to get these lined up. And I might have had my bow stamp in just a little bit of the wrong place, but I think we'll be okay. I'm more concerned about the sheep's head and body. All right, so there's our junk piece. All right, and I don't need, here's my bow. I don't need the bell. And here's our cute little sheep. Now, if we want to give her wild legs, I'm going to cut these off. we said wild, right? You think my table needs more light. I get it. Okay. Well, I can move these in. And I can try to reposition. Is that a little bit better maybe? My gooseneck light gives me a lot of heat. So in the summer sometimes it's hard to work with. So I've thought about too getting, I've got track lighting behind me, but then it creates a shadow. So I've thought about trying to get like a hanging light over my table, but it would just look really weird in the room. So, oh, my hands create shadows too. Yeah, I suppose. I'll try to work on that. All right, so I'm thinking we need to have wild legs on her. So I'm going to go ahead and fussy cut this. Yes, I need the feet. I almost was thinking I needed to cut those off. So thanks for letting me know about the lighting, because I usually don't go back and look at my replay. So if the lighting is poor, I can work on that. Oh, okay, good. It is better. Sometimes when I shift things around, the things get moved too. The lights get moved a little bit. And then they might not get put back in the right place either. Well, I'm glad you said something either way. All right, so Juju, I'm fussy cutting. I hope you're happy. And the underside I probably don't need to be too worried about because we're going to have one on top. But we want her legs to be visible. And since there's going to be a layer on top, I kind of want them to merge, right? Vicki, you're heading to bed. Thanks for popping in. Haven't seen you for a bit. Appreciate you stopping by. All right, we're almost done. And I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful of my hand and not creating a shadow. Because it's probably this hand that's creating the shadow. All right. I think that should be good enough. And I'm not going to worry about doing any shading on that because it's not going to matter. That one's not going to be on top. Because what I am going to do here is cut off her legs. So here I have to trim up really snug to the line because I don't want any of the lines of her legs showing, of course. I could have tried to mask that off, but then I probably would have missed some critical spots for ink, so I figured it was just going to be easier to fussy cut. All right, so there's just a little nugget of a line there. There. Oh, Vicki, you're staying. Okay, got it. Sometimes I have to keep up with the comments. Sorry. Well, I'm glad you're hanging in there. All right, so this is going to go on top of here. All right. And since we're going to have, we're going to put her head on a wobble. So I'm just going to glue these. But no, I'll put a couple of dimensionals. These are not really thick. All right. Sorry the sheep has taken us so long. The rest of it will go pretty quick. You can see we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of paper. All right. So the sheep is our time taker here. I'll try to pick up the pace. All right, and then I just had to remember where I cut her legs off of so that we can line her up. And I suppose it wouldn't really matter a whole lot if she was a little off, because it'll just make it look like she's got more wool. All right, and then let's put her googly eyes on. Wanda's got to dance. Yeah, you will see her dance. Dancing is definitely on the agenda. All right. So here's our eyes. I'm going to put a couple of glue dots, I think, on here. Just have to get, there we go. We're going to put a couple little glue dots. And did I use, I don't remember if I used glue or glue dots last time, but those are going to go there. And I guess I didn't need to worry about doing her eyebrows because that's where we're going to put her eyelashes. Lori from Minnesota. The bearded sheep. We could make an old Billy Goat. Billy Goat's gruff. Is that how it goes? All right, so let's go ahead and put those, that little eye on there. Well, thanks for popping in. You just got interested when we said the sheep was going to dance, huh? And I don't know if anybody can hear my stomach's growling again. There we go. Hopefully it's far enough away from the camera that you can't hear it. All right. So let's use our journaling pen and give her some eyelashes again. How many? I did 3 the other time. I'm just going to go over those a little bit. Maybe I'll give her 4 this time. And then here. I don't know why, but this side is a little bit harder for my left hand to manage. And hopefully my head's not under the camera or my nose. All right, I think that's okay. No, it's going to have to be. We'll give her some little thicker eyelashes there. Alrighty, so she's got her eyelashes. We're going to put a wobble on her head. She might not need a wobble on her head. And then we're going to go ahead and trim off 6, 7. We're going to go ahead and trim off her chin a little bit here because when we go to put the bow under there, I want to make sure that we see the bow. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to put a little dollop of glue on the tip of the bow here, hopefully. And so is that an age or just the phrase 6, 7? Like, how's it going? The kids are using that as a term these days. Yeah, 72 years older than. So, Laura, are you saying you're 67? Oh, there was a question there. So, Laura, you were saying you had the oldest eyes. I missed some of the comments here. All right. So, Laura, you're 67. I want to dye to make false long eyelashes. That would be fun, wouldn't it? All right, I'm up to speed now, I think. All right, I'll try to keep up better. All right, so this is going to go here. So let's do the base of our card now, all right? So I have 8.5 by 11. I scored it at 5.5. I cut it at 4.25 because we are doing a landscape card today. You know I don't normally do landscape cards or like tent cards that would open, you know, this way. If I'm going to do it, I want it to be able to sit up for somebody to display. All right. Can you turn the grass dye? Can you take the grass dye, turn it around? There isn't a grass dye for this set. There might be grass dyes someplace else, but there's not for this because it's just the punch and the stamp set. And if I used, oh, you mean the stamp? We could, but I think it was just easier for me to use the journaling pen. But having some long lashes, that would be hilarious. The kids are using that a lot. And then when I asked my granddaughter, because she said it one day, and I'm like, do you know what that means? She's like, no. I said, well, why would you say it if you don't know what it means? I don't know. So I don't know if there's more to it than on a scale from 1 to 10, 6, 7, I don't know. Vicky, there is definitely purpose for you. All right, so let's get back on track here. I do need a piece of white cardstock that's a little bit longer. That might work. All right, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go get another piece of white because I don't like that. I just want it to be 5.5 inches wide. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. Here we go. Alrighty. So this is 3 by 5.5. So this is the little mini tatas or little mini butts. Oh, what did we call this yesterday? Tiddles. Tiddles, somebody said. Those are, is that what somebody said? And this is 5.5 by 3 as well. We're going to use this for sky. So I'm going to go ahead and get my balmy blue and my blending brush. And we are going to turn this monochromatic because I want it to be sky. And yes, we're going to have flowers in the sky because they're going to kind of be our flowery clouds. Just work with me here. So I'm just trying to get rid of the glaring white in the background. I don't need it to be super dark. I want the flowers to still be visible. And we're going to put our little sheep on a hill. So I'm not too worried about the bottom of my DSP being colored because part of it's going to be covered up by the green because we're going to make that into a grassy hill. So I think that will probably, I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, my My watch is telling me that my device identified potential signs of stress or excitement starting at 1:05. I think we must have been excited about our sheet, huh? Because I'm not feeling stressed. All right, we'll just wipe that off. All right, so this is going to get attached right here, and that's going to become our sky. Maybe I do need a little bit more there. 67, the void of meaning has turned into a symbol of shared humor and collective identity, making 6 both meaningless and iconic at the same time. Okay. I'm sure they're coming up with all kinds of reasons to use it. Now, I did see a clip come up. I don't know if it was on like my YouTube feed or Facebook feed, probably YouTube, because I interact with YouTube more lately. But it was some woman giving, I think it was like a teacher, and it must have been like at a Christian school. And she was giving biblical references for 6-7 that had like Timothy, maybe Timothy 6-7, and she had a couple of other ones of them. I'd have to pull out my Bible to remember them, but I thought that was an interesting take on the fad, the trend. All right, so that's going to go right there. So let's go ahead and get our glue and glue this little puppy on here. I love the bright yellow on the back of this too. We're going to use a little piece of that for our sentiment. All right. So that I want to be the sky. So I'm going to put my card on its top and push this to the edges so it's right up where it needs to be. And I might have cut it just a little bit short. I have a little bit of a lip over here, but I'm not going to worry about it. We can probably just kind of go like this and nobody will ever realize that there's a white edge there. Perfect. All right, so that's there. You remember saying some weird things, I know. They're fads. We all do it, right? Or did it. Exactly. All right, now this piece, we are going to take this, and I'm going to cut this to the same size as this piece, because I want this to have a little more substantial backing to it than just a piece of DSP, because this is going to be raised up, and I don't want it to, yeah, still do. And I don't want it to collapse on the front of our card. So I'm just going to cut this down to 3, a little under 3, I guess. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue these together. Whoops, almost lost it. And I just want to try to make sure I'm going pretty close to the edges here. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'm going to put her face on our bow. I guess the bow stuck to the glass better than it stuck to her face. And then I'm going to put her on dimensional. Maybe. I have dimensionals here somewhere. There they are. I'm going to go ahead and put that on there. And then we'll be done with her. We'll have her head kind of tilted to the side a little bit. I think that's kind of fun. Isn't she adorable? I love her. She's so adorable. All right. And then we've got this piece. So I have the little tittles or whatever going up. Going down doesn't look quite like grass to me, although the darker green kind of goes up. That looks more like waves. So we're going to do this. And I'm going to start about here. And I'm just going to rip in an upward diagonal because we're going to make a hilly grass, a grassy hill rather. All right. And that'll end up going there. Now, this piece, we're going to end up putting over here, I think, and we'll make a hill going this way. So we'll just tear that down a little bit. And then I think we can kind of cut it off right about there. Oh, are you all right? You, Choo-Choo, you cleaned your desk. You organized your nice night projects. Holy cow. You finished your fussy cousin, took a bath, and you used punctuation. I am definitely impressed. All right, so I brought my old olive ink over, wondering if we needed to, I'm going to try to rip this a little bit more, to make a little bit more of an angle on this hill. Yeah, I'm sure you want to go to the hospital. So, do I take a sponge dauber or a blending brush and turn these white edges green? Green or white? Lori, not only is it all in one day, see, Juju just said what I was going to say. She did all that in an hour and a half. I was going to say in about an hour. It's impressive. Green. All right, so I probably should have hung on to a piece of that little scrap there to see if I should use my blending brush or a dauber. Maybe just a dauber. I think the dauber will work. I don't use a dauber very often, but it might just be a little safer with those rough edges. Yeah, she got a lot done, didn't she, Lori? Oh, I know what I accomplished today. I finished getting my class for tomorrow prepped. I have my Thoughtful Thursday class with my senior ladies. And I have to travel for that, so I always have to make sure that I've got everything together. And then one of the gals from my team is coming over before I leave for that. She needs help with a couple of cards she's working on. So she's going to come over. We're going to have some open studio time for her. All right. So this piece, we're going to go ahead and glue. You can probably go up just a little bit from that. We're going to glue that on the bottom. So this piece, the small piece can be flat, but this other piece is going to be raised. Whoops. Glue on my fingers. I'll have to get that taken care of. So I'm just going to scoot that up just a little bit from the bottom of that sky, the flowery sky piece. And then since we're doing some inking, let's go ahead and do our sentiment. And I'm going to use the sending flowers and sunshine. And I'm going to put that right on here. And we're going to cut this down into several separate words. Oh, I can leave this out too. You don't like the way that glue feels. It doesn't bother me. I don't I don't get it on my hands too much because I don't use that much glue. A little bit goes a long way. So less is more is my point. She is really cute. All right, so the other thing we need to do is, I want to do a couple of these butterflies flitzing around because I think that will be cute. Alrighty, that makes me happy. All right, I'll clean all that stuff off later. Let's get my scissors out of the way because I think I'm done with those. I can get those things out of the way. Blending brushes out of the way. Memento black out of the way. Clean up some of my stuff markers. All right, we're getting there. Punch back. All right, so let me get my trimmer out. That's why I kind of wanted to clear away some of this stuff. And let's not lose her. So we are going to just make these into little words. Hopefully you can see that. It might be safer to use scissors, but I'm going to go for it. Sending flowers. And sunshine. You used your take your pick tool? Like on your video? I'm going to have to go watch that for sure. I'm teasing. And your silicone glue mat. So with your silicone mat, did you let your glue dry before you tried to clean it off? Yay, Juju. Because with mine, with my silicone mat, I let the glue dry and then I just rub it off and it comes right off. If I try to wash it when it's wet, I get a residue that I can't get off. So that's how I do my silicone mat. And I have that all dirty because I was going to do a quickie little video. All right. Oh, disregard. All right, so I'm going to trim these just a little narrower. Because they got a little tall. All right. And then we're going to use adhesive strips, which are right here. And we're going to build up our words here. I like separating the words like this. I never used to do it. It never occurred to me. But then Shannon West, who's one of our demonstrator development managers, she's also a demonstrator. But I watched her on some video doing something. I don't remember what it was. And she cut the words all apart. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why didn't I even think of that? What an awesome idea. And then I'm just going to put a little dot here for the ampersand sign. And let's use the take your pick tool and just stick that on there. That'll work. And then one little last piece of adhesive there. And I'm just eyeballing how big I need these. That's why I had to trim that one down a little bit. Because who measures? Certainly not me if I can help it. Sending you flowers and sunshine. So I did it on the yellow striped paper just so that would give the imagery of a sun. Okay, so the flowers are the blue sky and the clouds, and then we've got the grassy, the green part here. All right, now here comes kind of a fun part. Let me get rid of a little bit of my debris. So we still need to make her dance, right? Wanda needs to dance. So who is familiar with giving somebody the 2 cents, your 2 cents worth? We are going to use a couple of pennies and we are going to make Wanda dance. Now, what did I do with my die? Here we go. Wanda is going to dance down the hill. So we are going to decide where Wanda needs to end up, and we're going to make a little track for Wanda to dance in. And we're going to cut this out. This is why I wanted the basic white. I actually use thick basic white on the back because we're going to lift this up. And in order for Wanda to dance, it has to be raised off the paper. So let me get my die cutting machine out. We're going to use Bossy Bessie. And we're going to cut both layers at the same time. Yeah. Couldn't tell if my shim was there. So I've got the base plate, the shim plate, the cutting plate, our paper. This is going to be a little bit more resistant to go through the machine because we've got 2 layers of paper. What die is that? This is from the Textured Notes dies. There is like a sentiment one on there. And I wonder, let's see if this is still active. So the Textured Notes bundle is on the last chance list. And that comes with, I don't know where my stamp set is. I have it. I just don't know where it is right now. It's really cool. It's a nice set. Oh, I think I know. Here we go. So this is the Textured Notes bundle. It also had some paper, but I love these foliage pieces on here. They're beautiful. Yeah, Rosa, isn't this a gorgeous set? So this is one of the ones that, hello, Robert. This is one of the ones that I said the bundle might retire or be on the last chance list, but the products are still going to be available separately. And I can tell my screen is kind of dim right now, but that's because I'm up above my light. All right. So the bundle is getting retired. It's probably going to carry over because the Textured Note dies are still, oh, the dies are not on the last chance list, but the stamp set is. So the stamp set's probably going to be retired. She is not going to go daintily down the hill. I can assure you that. But the dies will be available. I love these dies. I love all the different borders on there. But that's where this narrow strip comes from. Okay. So anyway, oh, that's my list for things that are in that virtual card class. So I'm just going to cut this out here. Now that went through really easy. But again, I led with the corner. I didn't lead with a flat edge. And I'm just going to look at the back of this and make sure that it went all the way through before I take my washi tape off. All right, so that worked out just fine. So let me put these things away. Does anybody know where I'm going with this yet? Has anybody done this yet? It's been a long time since I've a penny for your thoughts sort of thing. All right, well, I guess I can just leave that tape down there. All right, so for this now, we know we're going to have this raised up, but I don't like that, right? So I'm going to use this and I'm going to glue it underneath. So even though this piece is going to be raised up, I'm going to glue this piece in place. All right. So let's just put that there. We're going to put some glue on the back of this. Doing a pathway, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, so I want to make sure this is lined up pretty close to the edges of my card. And then I'm going to lay this in here. And I'm going to make sure that design goes the same way that it's supposed to, right? I don't want to have those little, the bumpy edge go in the wrong direction, all right? Now, had I anticipated this before, I could have cut part of that layer off so this laid flatter. I don't think it's going to matter, all right? So on this piece now, I'm going to take a bunch of these and I'm going to start lining around the edge of my card. So we can put this one here because I need this all kind of raised up. A coin slider card. Yep. Indeed. It's been a while since I've done one, but they're very fun. I think they're fun. And when I saw her and when we did the wobbles, I'm like, oh, we need to do a coin slider card. Is that what it's called? I don't even remember. All right, and then this little piece I can put over here. We can cut another little piece for the other end. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to put a piece here. And then I'm going to put a couple little filler pieces there. Is anybody else familiar with this card or this technique? So now I want a dimensional. And I'm going to put a dimensional on one of our pennies. Now, if you're going to produce a ton of these, remember, we have a penny shortage. So, you know, maybe you want to use a dime. All right. I'm just kidding. Use whatever you want. This is going to go here. And this penny is going to go here, right on top. All right. And you can see that slides around really nicely. All right. It should slide pretty good. You might be able to use a thinner die, or you might be able to just slice that with your trimmer. Just make sure that you've got enough clearance for the points on your dimensional, or make sure that you work it so that they're rounded, or you trim them off. Okay. I know pennies are being discontinued. That's why I'm giving the little warning. All right. So we've got our little penny on here. All right. You just don't want to have this so wide that the penny is going to fall out, right? Because that would be a bad thing. So you can kind of see Wanda is going to go down our hill. All right. So I need to put another piece on here. And we're going to go right about like so, I guess. Because I don't want that to collapse. And I'm just going to put it, I don't want it rubbing against the penny, but I want it to be there to just kind of guide the penny from straying too far. Okay. All right, so there's our penny rolling around. All right, I can get rid of these now because I'm not going to worry about that collapsing. It'll be good. We're all good, I think there. Can put that away. Can put these away. Oh, I got another strip of my adhesive sheets here that need to go back in the package. Back in the saddle. All right, so let's go ahead and take all of our backing pieces off. Sorry, sometimes I can't feel the strips because I do have some neuropathy issues from back in the day when I had my chemotherapy. So sometimes when you see me kind of going like this, it's because I can't feel it. All right, one more piece. But if I want to send this to a child, she best not have any wine. It'll be our little secret. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and just line this up here. And you can see now how that camouflages and looks like it belongs there. All right, and it's all lined up on our edges pretty good. You could use washers, absolutely. And that might actually be better depending on how big your die is or your slot. I just use pennies because that's how I learned it, and I happened, whoops. There we go. Why does that not want to go brighter? I wonder if they're getting dimmer. But anyway, I had these pennies sitting on my lamp, and I thought, you know, we need to do a penny card. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put Wild Wanda on our penny. Now, the one thing that I want to mention is I like using the foam adhesive strips because they are thicker than our current dimensionals. Our current dimensionals are a little bit thinner than they used to be. I don't remember seeing an announcement on it, but whoever's making them obviously is making them thinner. So the adhesive strips that I used here, these longer strips, they are thicker than the dimensionals. So if you're using dimensionals because you don't have the adhesive strips, use 2 dimensionals when you're raising up this piece because you want to make sure there's enough clearance for your penny. Okay. All right, so Wild Wanda is getting put onto penny, and Wild Wanda is going to start spinning. I think I might have called this a little spinner card before, but depending on where she sits and how tight the penny is to the card, she rolls. I just kind of like doing that because then she's really wild. All right, so here she's just kind of sliding back and forth, but depending on how you angle the card, you can see how she grips, and there we go. But when you have her flat and let her go, it's not quite as dramatic as if she's angled. So there's Wild Wanda. What do you think? I think we need to put those sunshine embellishments on there, though, that I colored. I almost forgot about those. And we're just going to put some of these in our flowers, our little sunshines. Our little rays of sunshine. Or maybe we'll have this one peeking out under here, maybe. Wonder if I can get it under there. Of course I can. Beautiful. All right. And then I think I want to color those butterflies because I don't think they stand out enough. So maybe I will get a nice bright pink. All right, so I missed something here. Okay, kids have... Oh, yeah, make it a soda pop then. She'd be high from all that sugar. You're not kidding. Kids have trouble with math. Teachers should make sure they have enough pennies to help teach the little ones to count, add, and subtract. Yeah, we got our granddaughter an abacus. I think those are a dying art or a dying school tool. And Nicole, we have plastic counters and shaped math counters now, like Teddy's fruit, animals, cars. Well, because they can't pay attention long enough if it's not entertaining, right? Yeah, she had too much of something. She's not from Colorado, though. Wild Wanda is an acrobat. Don't you love it? I think she's hilarious. Ah! All right, let me go get a bright pink for the butterflies. Oh, maybe a bright purple, too. Oh, we'll do berry burst. We'll do some berry burst and we'll do some strawberry slush. So I'm just going to use a couple little dots because this is alcohol, so it'll bleed if I'm not careful. New meaning. Oops, I just got pink on the corner there. I guess we're going to put pink on these other corners. That was unintended, but I think it'll be all right. Who's going to know, right? At least it was on the one with flowers, like flowers are supposed to be pretty colors. I'm just trying to put light little dots so that I don't get a lot of bleed. I probably could have cut off that edge, but too late now. Okay, and then the butterflies, yeah, they need to pop more. I'm going to get a lighter pink too, I think. Oh, or rich raspberry. What color do I want to get? So we've got Blackberry Bliss, or we've got Pretty in Pink. What do we think? I could do light, and if it's too light, then we can always make them darker. But I can't make them lighter once they're dark. Oh, that's kind of pretty. I kind of like that. And then maybe I should do some tulips and fussy cut them for on there. I think she's cute. Oh, Pretty in Pink. Yeah, that's what I used. Perfect. I thought, oh no. Why would I need to do a Valentine's special? She's adorable. I love her. So let me see. Let's do some flowers. Some tulips. Now those, because there's not a die. Oh, I'm not sure how those will look if I fussy cut them. I suppose we won't know until we try. Let's get a scrap of Wow, that's very vanilla. I might be wasting my time. It might look stupid because they're not going to be die cut. You know what I think I'll do instead? I'm going to find a set that has some little like posy flowers, and I'll add them on there. I think that'll work better. So you'll have to see the finished project tomorrow because I'm going to have to find those flowers unless somebody knows off the top of their head where those are. Let me go get a green. I need a little old olive on here. Well, the flowers look cute, even if they might not work. I'm just using this color lifter to push some of that pink back inside the lines because I kind of messed up a little bit. I don't think this is going to work, but we'll see. Because I'm not going to be able to fussy cut close enough to all the edges, I think. I've already kind of decided I'm not going to like how this looks. I wonder if MacMan's still awake. He might be watching. We might need somebody armed and dangerous to watch out for Wild Wanda. Yeah, I think the little flowers are gonna, oh, you mean like the, oh, that would probably work too. I hadn't really thought about just using the flower heads. Although that could work. Now that I fussy cut the whole thing around. Where did you get the heart-shaped boxes from? Like these are cuter than I expected them to be, actually. Oh, I know. I could use the tulip. The tulip, what's that one called? It's a new one. We could supplement these. I actually kind of like them now. I'm glad I didn't give up on it. Oops. Cut that a little more narrow. Valentine's, just for the kids to take for school. MacMan might get one, depending on how I feel. Depending on how many other cards I've had to do. He always gets one for our anniversary for sure. So those are actually kind of cute. I like those. But we could put some bigger tulip flowers on there if I used the die from that other tulip set. And we can put that one over there. I think that one could be kind of cute. Those could be cute. I kind of like those. Let's just take a look. Let me grab the tulip one. These might be way too, oh yeah, these would be super big. Because I could use that die to cut out the tulips, but that's going to be way too big. So disregard. All right, so let's put a little glue on those, and I think we'll be done. Yeah, every once in a while I'll try not to overthink it and just fussy cut and do all right. I tried to get the border pretty narrow. Now these would be good if I had the patience. I could just put some glue on the back and let them set a little bit. Well, hello, Suzanne, right? Suzanne from Arkansas. At least you got a nap in. Tiny Tim, tiptoe through the tulips. Then I should make a companion card with a boy. What's sold out, Vicki? Is something sold out already? We'll just make her wild. Woohoo! She's adorable. I love her. What do you think? Oh, the ladybug embellishments are sold out, or we need them? I love it. And then for the envelope, oh yeah, I remember that too now that you mention it. I'm thinking maybe we could use, that would make a good color, a coordinating one, and it would bring up more of the yellow too, don't you think? So I did work out some of this ahead of time, and it did really well. So I just didn't do all the things. I got some of that started so I could make sure that it worked. But this was kind of my prototype I did a little bit before I went live. So this was the other thing I accomplished. Fun. Thank you for all the hearts, you guys. I'm glad you like it. All right. So that's it. So Wild Wanda. Wild Wanda. I'm going to go ahead and take pictures of her. I will try to get her onto my Facebook page, Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, so you can catch it over there. And now that these products have gone live, well, thanks for hanging out with me, Rosa. Now that these products have gone live, I can go ahead and put them on my webpage and get some, we have a Wild Wanda series, you're right. I can go ahead and make like shopping carts too, so you can see all of the products that were used for them, you know, the papers and the embellishments and that sort of thing. Not the googly eyes, you got to get your own googly eyes, but these were fun. So I might have to move to some other set now, right? I don't want Wanda to wear out her welcome. But these were fun. These are fun to create. Thank you for hanging out with me. Oh, I know. From last night, we were talking about the trees that my nephew was turning with his lathe. So I went ahead and I grabbed them. So this is one of them that he turned on his lathe. This is birchwood, clearly. All right. So he did that. This is part of a new craft he's learning. Wanda has to go to church. And then here's the other one. This is out of pecan. Now they have pecan trees in their yard, which I thought was really cool. So I'm not sure if this is wood from their tree. But yeah, he made these handmade. We got them for Christmas. So that was one of the videos I did, I think night before last. I showed him sharing a craft. So I think tomorrow night I will be doing, or well, later today actually, 22 hours or something like that. Stampin' Up! Has a challenge right now, a layout challenge or a sketch challenge or a template challenge, whatever you want to call it. And we might do that. So I might hang on to those. I need a couple little pieces for sure. So thank you everybody for hanging out with me. Now I got a few things to clean up. Yes, he was very impressive and he gave us a sample and in just a few minutes had worked out pretty much a whole nother little tree. So I'm glad he's got that as kind of a therapeutic thing. His mother is the one that passed away, which is why I went to Arizona. So that's it. That's all I've got for you folks. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and clean up my studio a little bit because I've got my gal coming over in just a few hours to work with me. So yeah, those trees, it was really cool. And to watch him with, there's like a tool that he uses so it spins. It's almost like pottery, but with wood. So this spins, not like on a wheel, like a pottery wheel, but like this, and it's spinning this way. And then he uses the tool to make the gouges as deep as he wants the shape to be. He's made some beautiful bowls and he's just learning all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. Hopefully I'll get some more for next Christmas. But I'm going to call it a day. I've got some cleanup to do. I have to have a snack before I go to sleep because my stomach is growling, and I will catch all of you next time. Thank you for hopping on with me. I appreciate the company. And until next time, happy crafting.